Welcome to Her Handmade Hustle Unplugged, a podcast for all women with a creative business who want to learn more about how to make money doing something they love. I'm Joanne Pearce, a female entrepreneur myself, 15 years experience running my own handmade stationery business, Vintage Twee. I'm an established seller on two of the biggest handmade marketplaces, so I've got a whole load of advice to share about how to start and run your own successful creative business. I'm also a wife and a mother, so I get the struggles of trying to do it all while you're raising a family. It's hard. Alongside running Vintage Twee, I'm also a mentor for other women like me who desperately want to work for themselves but just need that bit of support to get going and get their business dream off the ground. I'm a friendly northerner, I'm open and honest with a huge heart and a real fighting spirit, and I'm living proof that you can achieve anything that you set your mind to, even in the face of adversity. This podcast celebrates the selflessness, strength, and resilience of women in business. So if you're ready to ditch the 9 to 5 and learn how to start your own successful creative business, you're in the right place. Hello and welcome to a very, very special episode of the Her Handmade Hustle Unplugged podcast, right in time for Christmas. Only a couple of days to go now, and I want to get this out there before Christmas to make you all smile. So a couple of months ago, I asked my followers on social media if they think I should bring my biggest fan and entrepreneur of like 50 years onto the show and interview him. Now I say him, and I know this is normally a podcast for women, and I interview other female entrepreneurs, but this man has had his own business for like 4 decades and he knows a lot of stuff. He also probably knows far too much about me, if I'm being honest, which I'm quite worried about, not going to lie. But, this wonderful, inspiring and brilliant man, it's my dad. And you all voted 100% yes to me interviewing him on the podcast. So here we are, okay, on your head be it. Now, I've obviously got loads of things that I want to ask him about his entrepreneurial journey as the famous Tony the Barber of Eton Chapel. That's what he was known as. And I know he's going to help and inspire you, particularly if you're struggling with some particular aspects of being self-employed. Because I'll tell you, he's been through it all. He's had amazing highs when he was the busiest barbershop in the area, to all-time lows where he didn't get the retirement that he deserved. He had to sell his beloved business for a fraction of the price it was worth because he had to get out quick in order to spend some precious time with my mum, with what time she had left with us. But he was the most well-known barber in town. All mine and my sister's ex-boyfriends knew him, cut all their hair. And his shop, it was famously haunted. And it was featured in a book all about the supernatural history of the area. Now, there's more to come on this later. So if you're anything like me and you love a good ghost story, you're going to want to keep listening to find out. It's so interesting. Now, from these spooky goings on to bad business decisions, tax investigations, and the time he came home from work one day off his tits after he tried speed for the first and only time. I'll never forget it. More to come on that as well. My dad has been there, done that, and bought every t-shirt in the self-employment store. Now, he's also one of the funniest people I know. His humour, I would say, is most definitely his superpower, and I honestly believe that has been one of the main reasons for his success and his resilience in business. Now, nowadays, he looks a bit like Sir Alan Sugar. He actually reminds me of him quite a bit, but just with much less money, as I'm sure he'd agree. And, despite all the shit that has been flung our family's way, he shows up every single day for me and my sister Emma, when we've needed him the most, particularly. And we became the Three Amigos, we call ourselves that, in 2017, after losing my precious mum. And she was the heart of our family, as most mums are, and I wanted to record this episode for her as well, because I think she would just say, Joanne, what are you doing? No one's going to want to listen to your father talking. Well, we'll see, Mum. And he's really stepped up and he's filled in the massive gaping hole that Mum left, and all credit to him because they were some big shoes to fill. So we're very grateful for him being here and helping us every single day. He's a brilliant granddad. He's got 4 grandchildren who absolutely adore him. And, he still cuts hair a couple of times a week just to stay in the game. Although he's complaining now that a lot of his customers are dying off, and he needs some younger clientele. So there you go. Anyway, I don't know how this is going to go, okay? Or I don't know what he's going to come out with. He is a law unto himself. I'm warning you. So it's a risky episode. But what I do know is that you're going to love him, right? He's going to make you smile. He maybe even give you a really good belly laugh. And he will also 100% most definitely give you some solid advice from a self-employed veteran. And he's going to leave you feeling uplifted and probably a tad emotional because, I don't know, he's just got a way of doing that. I figured if no one ever listens to this episode, then so what? I'll always have it as a precious memory and something to play to my daughter when he snuffed it, as he likes to say. Anyway, there's absolutely nothing more to say apart from brace yourselves. This is going to be a roller coaster of an episode. So enjoy listening to the interview with my dad, Tony Linder. Right, now, just to kick things off, I want to let everyone know that my dad has been briefed prior to this recording with a list of swear words that he can and cannot say, along with a list of topics that are considered inappropriate, ill-advised, and or totally unsuitable for the ears of the ladies who listen to my podcast. Okay, who am I kidding? That's not going to happen. Like I say, he's a law unto himself, and we wouldn't have him any other way. Welcome, Dad, to your daughter's podcast.
Hey, hello, everybody.
This is weird.
I just feel as though I'm on trial. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Oh, God. This is going to be fun. I mean, he made me a coffee before. I said, should we take a coffee up with us for this recording? I said, yeah. Anyway, snuck a bit of Irish liqueur in there. So it's going to liven it up.
Well on our way now, aren't we?
Well, it's Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So, what is it that made you say yes to doing this? Is it purely your father's love for your daughter, or are you actually seeking fame and fortune at the grand old age of 71?
Not at all. I'm not interested in any money. No, I just wanted to get on the podcast and tell you how I feel and my thoughts about my family and my business and
loads to say.
Yeah.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, definitely.
And seriously, I am so glad we're doing this because it's a little piece of history, isn't it?
Yeah.
For me, for Emma, my sister, and our kids to listen to and learn about your journey. Because it's, you've been a barber for what, 60 plus years,
60
really?
plus years, yeah.
Had your own business for 40. So, I just thought it'd be really special.
Yeah.
And highly entertaining. And the ladies are going to love you.
Oh, thanks.
So, let's get going. Right. Barber, entrepreneur of, how many years did we say? 50 plus?
I started when I was 13 as an apprentice for my dad's uncle. And he got me washing hair and all that usual stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I just carried on till 3 years of apprenticeship. And then I started cutting hair when I was 16.
Wow.
So from 16 to 71, I'm 72 in January.
God.
I've been snipping.
That's all you've ever known, isn't it?
That's all I've ever known, yeah. Back of beds and just chat, getting the lifestyle out of people, and they tell you anything they want to tell you, and it's fantastic.
I can't wait to tell everybody about some of the funny stories of things that happened in your shop, and we're going to get onto that because I'm going to absolutely love it. But, you come from an entrepreneur yourself, Grandma, my grandma, Linda, Phyllis. There's an episode on Phyllis of the podcast, if you've not already heard it. It's called Be Like Phyllis. You should listen. That's all about my grandma. Really good. But you come from generations of entrepreneurship. Is it in our genes?
Yep, absolutely.
It's probably about the only one good one we got from you.
Well, apparently the genes are not very good. Yes, the genes are not very good in our family at all.
No.
My dad left me 60 ties and a BRCA2 gene. So that's very nice of him. And thank you, Dad.
That's where we got the old breast cancer gene from. Thanks. But there's not got a brilliant history there. But, we have got the entrepreneurial gene, which is the one that matters. And, Grandma was an entrepreneur. She had her own shop, didn't she?
I've seen my mum work from day one, from when I was a little boy in Cheetham Hill. She worked behind the sewing machine. Well, first of all, actually, she worked for my granddad, my dad's dad. She worked in the draper's shop, which is like dresswear, dresses, and call them draper's shops some days.
Like a haberdashery.
Yeah. And she worked behind that, helped him, and then she got involved with the machinery side of stuff. And she had a little workshop in the back of the shop with my dad. Oh. And they started making ladies and gents coats.
Oh, that's right.
Ladies and gents coats, yeah. And I used to watch them, and of course, them days it was all all the smoke and all this smoking they were doing, and it wasn't good for your health. Really bad for your health. But that's part of it. Them days in Hightown, Cheetham Hill.
Was that in the 60s then?
That was in the 60s. Yeah. I was born in 53. Yeah, 60s, early 60s. My dad was a good worker. He's a fantastic machinist. My mum became a lot better in the later years. And that was really part of my childhood that I really enjoyed there.
When did she open the shop, the corner shop? So Grandma had a corner shop in Ashton.
Ashton-under-Lyne. Yeah, she did.
She's near Manchester. And she was really popular as well. She had this little corner shop called Phyllis's, and she sold everything. And great client base, didn't she? Everyone was always in to see her.
They all loved her. Yeah.
And we used to go on a Sunday to visit her.
You did?
Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, she loved taking you. Yeah.
One of our favourite days of the week.
My mum used to love taking you there.
Going to work with Grandma.
Yeah.
But so you've always seen her. She's such a hard worker.
I've always seen her work hard. Yeah. She's just a one-off as far as working. I mean, I used to go out, say clubbing when I was about 17, 18. I used to come back about 3 or 4 in the morning, half bloody K-line, and then she's in the kitchen scrubbing the floor and cleaning it. And she said, "Don't walk on the kitchen floor. Don't walk on that. I've just cleaned it." I said, "Oh, bloody hell, Mum." And I'm like, get upstairs, you stink. You're drunk. Get to bed.
Never mind that you're nice and safe. I'm glad you're home.
Yeah, no, you got bloody work in the morning. So, God, that was bloody awful days. They were. But they were fun days. I must admit, I really enjoyed them. But,
God, no, she was such an interesting character, was Grandma.
Yeah.
And it's definitely carried through to you, who started your own barbershop. Let's talk about that. So Tony the Barber's was the most popular barbershop in the area of Heaton Chapel, where near where we grew up, Stockport. So
yeah, well, before I got to there, I actually worked in Knutsford, and then I came from Knutsford to Heaton Chapel to work for another company. Worked there from 81 to 89 as a self-employed behind the chair man. You know, like
so you were self-employed then,
yeah. You just rent your chair, pay your own tax stamp and all that, but you just pay the boss the rent for the chair, and the rest is yours. So I worked hard there. I really did. I built my clientele up, and then when I got my clientele, I thought to myself, "What am I doing here? I should be on my own." And Mum always said to me, "Get on your own, Tony." She said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I have seen the shop actually, Sue, round the corner." "Oh," she said, "that's great." So I thought to myself, do I do it because I'm working from somebody I just round the corner to? But at the end of the day, you look after yourself. And being an entrepreneur is all about taking chances and taking that risk and know your own confidence and know you can do it. And I knew I could do it. I knew it. I knew from day one. So I knew I could sort of put the word out to people that I'm moving across the road, but keep it stum. Don't tell many people. It's only eventually in 89 I opened the shop. But the boss where I work found out, because I was still working in the shop when I was negotiating the shop. So he found out somehow. Don't know why, because I think somebody must have leaked it out. Anyway, he approached me one day and he says, "Tony," he says, "are you getting a shop?" And he's very close to me. So I just said, "Yeah." "I'm sorry, Steve. Yeah, that's the way it is." "Right. You finished on Saturday. Get your notice." And so I left on Saturday night. Sunday morning, I got a phone call off him saying there's a black bag outside the shop with all your stuff in it. So that's fair enough. Okay. So I picked my bag up, and then that was it from then on. Then I went to the shop, and then we opened it in 89.
So Emma, you'd had both of me and Emma then, hadn't you?
Yeah.
We had 2 young children.
Yeah, 2 children. Well, Emma in 81 and you in 83.
So that was a risk, wasn't it?
It was a risk. Yeah, it was a risk because I didn't know how it was going to go. I knew that I was always going to pay me rent. I knew I was going to pay me rent, which at the time was cheap. Before I left, it was very expensive, but it was cheaper at the time. So I thought, right, the customer that I'm getting will keep me going. That'll keep me going for a bit, and I'll try and build it up. But within about 5-6 months, less than that probably, it was buzzing. The word had got around. It was fantastic. I just couldn't cope. It was that busy. We couldn't cope with it, so I had to get another worker in. I had loads of workers helping, sweeping up and doing all that. We needed them. But it was so great. The atmosphere was great. People love coming in.
And you had some characters, didn't you, coming in?
There's some fantastic characters coming in from the richest to the poorest to the stupidest. Flipping heck. And then it just, I don't know if it made me like that. I'm not sure. I was quite normal when I went to the mop shop. But then I come out like a bloody lunatic when I come out. I was mentally gone.
Well, Mum used to say that, I don't know how he deals with all these types of people. He's not afraid of them.
Very crazy
PC.
People. Yeah.
You did. And you handled them all so well, and everybody loved you for it. But yeah, I mean, it took off straight away.
It was a family shop where the mums, dads could bring the kids in. And full confidence. They were sitting there for 2 hours sometimes because we were that busy.
Just to wait.
They would not go. They wanted us to cut their hair. I mean, because the people I had working with me were good hairdressers, they were good barbers. I always made sure they were good barbers. I wanted them to be the standard I was or even better. But they would.
That's hard to find, isn't it? It's your own business
find,
as well. Yeah. You want to be sure that they're delivering the same quality service as you.
Yeah. We each have our own style, obviously, when we're cutting hair. But yeah, you want them to be and respectful. You know, I mean. I had 1 or 2 problems with some of the staff. They were naughty. One of them, one story, one day, I employed this lad. And he's all right. He's cutting out very fast when he's cutting and sort of not looking what he was doing. Yeah. So we were outside one day. I was outside one day talking to somebody, a customer. And then this lad was cutting this chap's hair in the shop. And all of a sudden, I heard this customer shouting, "Ow! Ow!" I said, "What? I run in. What bloody hell?" He'd only cut the bottom of his lobe off on his ear. He cut his bloody... Oh, Jesus. Bloody blood was everywhere. I said, "What have you done?" He said, I said, get away. So I'm getting hold of the customer. I'm grabbing his ear at the bottom. And...
what was it, on the floor? Was it like...
Well, it was, but I couldn't find it amongst all the hair. So anyway, I've got my finger on his ear, pressing it. I thought, bloody hell, what am I going to do here now? He's going to sue me to flipping hell here. I'm going to be skint. I'm never even...
It's the end of Tony's the barber.
End of the barbershop, yeah. Headlines, ear chopped off in barbershop.
So, Sweeney Todd.
He brought the whole new meaning to Sweeney Todd, that did. So,
what did you do?
So he's a little Irish fellow. He's a lovely chap. He's been a customer of mine for years. So I got to the first aid box and I got a few plasters and I wrapped him around the bottom of his ear. And it's like not a massive lobe piece come off, but like a section, which causes the ear bleeds a lot, doesn't it? I'm sorry if you're listening, but if you're having your tea or anything like that, but don't worry.
Maybe pause it.
Yeah. So I managed to stop the blood-ish.
Oh my God.
And then I apologised to him and I said to the lad, you get out of the shop. You get out of the shop. Anyway, he left the shop and I thought I'm going to get a phone call, solicitors or whatever. Anyway, I didn't. So the next time he actually came back. He came back 6 weeks later. 6 weeks later, he came back. So he said, I'm waiting for Tony to cut my hair, please. So I thought, oh, God, no. Please don't cut. I hope I don't cut his other hair.
Pressure.
I was a bloody bag of nerves.
Oh, my God.
So he come in and he sat down and it was like healing, but you could see the piece missing. So he couldn't put an earring in it, so it looked stupid. He wouldn't fit. And that was it. He was great after that. He kept coming back and back and back, and we got away with one there, I tell you. I fired him anyway. I fired him bugger off. Sacked him.
Good.
Then, when I sacked him, he said to me, "Oh, just before I go," he said, "I want to show you something." So he goes in the back room and pulls out a gun.
No.
I'm not kidding. He pulled out a gun.
Why do I not know this?
Yeah, well, no, well, you don't. And he said to me, look at this. I said, "What are you doing with that in my shop?" He said, "Don't worry about it. It's not going to use it in here." I said, you better leave the shop now. I said, because I'll call the police. Anyway, there was people after him he's after him. I didn't realise he'd mixed up with this bunch. Anyway, he left. He left and kicked him out, left. And I thought, oh, God, I can't have anyone like that in my shop.
That's awful. God,
and then he went down to, he disappeared down Wales. And then the last I heard, he hung himself. That was it. That was the end of that, yeah.
Oh, well, what was the end of that?
The end of that. I'm sorry to tell you that he hung himself.
Oh my God, revelation after revelation.
Yeah, so I won't see him again.
This is like a true crime podcast this is turning into
hilarious. That's only one of my episodes in the barbershop.
Well, that's one.
I've got a few more.
There's a few more. I mean, yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah,
But
that is a true story. Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of things I wanted to ask you about the shop, which I know people are going to find really interesting. That one wasn't on the cards, but I'm glad you told it. That's a really good story. But I'm thinking about this time. So, like, when you're self-employed, you're going to make bad business decisions, right? It's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Did I make
I've done it. You've done it.
Oh,
I know you have.
Ah.
And I'm going to tell you the one that I distinctly remember
Yeah.
from when I was a child,
Yeah.
and I remember it being a row after a row with Mum about it.
I know.
You know which one it is?
Is it a drinking
It's
one?
the bloody drinks machine.
Oh, the drinks machine.
So tell the story of the drinks machine.
So this comedian comes in. I'm working away, mad busy. When somebody comes in my shop, I've got no time to talk to them. I normally say, right, see you again, mate. I'm too busy, so don't tell me anything. If you're a salesman, go away. So this one, I must have had, I think at the time I had the flu, or I was coming down with something. I wasn't on good form. I had a headache and all that rubbish, you know.
And he came at the end of the day, didn't he?
He came at the end of the day about 4:15, I think. No, 5:15, yeah. Anyway, he says, I'm Mr. Doodle, and I do drinks machines. Oh, I said, no, I'm not really. Well, let me explain to you what it is. He said, it's an easy machine, fits in the corner there. He says, and you get your soup, you get your coffee, your milk, and you get hot chocolate. So I said, right, yeah. He said, you put 20 pence in. It was only 20 pence at the time then.
Yeah.
Could I get buggers to spend 20p? No chance. Type buggers in Eaton Chapel. Anyway, so they wouldn't. He wouldn't put 20p in the machine. Anyway, I said, in the end, he talked me into a 3-year lease. And it was, at them days, I think it was about £200 a month. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
I wasn't, because I budgeted when I was just started off my business to work to a budget like mum worked out. Mm-hmm. And when I went home with that thing, she
went the roof, didn't she?
And then, so I put it in, and got it in there, looked great. I thought, looks quite good, that. Look at the kettle now, I've got the machine. Great. So that's so right. Off we go. Next day, I can't wait for customers to come in and try it. So they all come in, machine there, Tony, is it? Yeah. Try it. You have to pay for them? Of course you do. So 20 pence. They're not 20 pence. It's nothing. Anyway, nothing that day, and I get a tap in it. Okay, I can get a drink out of it myself because I have the key. I can get a free drink, but then they're eating all my profits, aren't they? All my profits are disappearing. And my mate was taking drinks out of it as well. I thought, a week went by, must have been about 70, 60, 80p in it. And quid got to a quid. I thought, he's picking up. Picking up. I might just drop a few quid in it myself to make it look as though it's taking off. So I thought, this coffee and tea and chocolate's going to go stale because no one's buying it.
I remember you having just loads of cups next to it.
Loads of cups next to it, yeah. Please help, please. In the end, I felt like saying, opening it up, have one free, so it's getting used. So make us all spending my money the right way. And it got to about a month or two. Don't forget, I took this out for 3 years. But I couldn't get out of it unless I paid the lease off, which would have been at that time 3 years at £200. So you work that out, can't you? So they got me by the short and bloody curlies there, and I had a bad day that day.
And Mum's never forgive you for it for ages.
She never forgive me for that for ages. That bloody machine.
And do you know? I'll always remember. I mean, I don't know if you know this, right? This is something that I did for you as a daughter, right? So I remember witnessing these rows about this bloody drinks machine, and I just used to think, oh my God, what can I do to help? What can I do to help? So do you know what I did?
No.
So I used to save up my 20p's, and then whenever we came to the shop, I used to put 20p in and get a drink.
Blessed, did
you?
Thinking
that I'd help you pay off the machine. I'd only maybe put 2 in.
Running back.
I think you've paid me back well over what I owe you.
Oh, that's so
But
nice.
I used to think, how can I help my mum and daddy? I know what I'll do. I'll put 20p in and get some chicken soup or get hot
pea water, wasn't it?
It was awful.
Someone like peed in the machine. It was awful.
No wonder nobody was buying it. But that was one of the bad business decisions, and it happens. And you paid it off. You
3 years,
did 3 years,
of
didn't
that,
you?
Yeah, 3 years of that. Cost me
And I remember you celebrating once it had gone out of the shop.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic. I bought a kettle.
Well, and also on that note, we used to come and see, me and Emma used to come and stop by the shop sometimes when Dad was working. And he worked that hard. He was like 7 till 7, wasn't it, most days?
8 o'clock Thursdays, Fridays.
Yeah, and used to work till late on a Thursday and Friday. And when I passed my driving test, I used to get in the car and drive to Heaton Chapel and see Dad. And I used to go in and make him a brew because
Yeah.
he never had time, did you, to
No,
stop and
no.
have a drink?
I was told to, but I didn't.
No, Mum always used to say to him, make sure you have your lunch and make sure you have a
Yeah,
drink.
she did, yeah.
So I used to make it our mission to go in, brew up for him, and then put it on the side. I always remember the mug. It was a Kit Kat mug. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do, yeah,
I used to put it on the side for you.
Yeah.
To drink it while I'm here.
Yeah.
Or grab a sandwich or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Dad's kitchen in the shop, it was right at the back of the shop. Now, I mentioned at the beginning about his barber shop. It was famously haunted, wasn't it?
It was.
And it featured in a book for the local area called Supernatural Stockport. And it was basically a collection of places and like ghostly encounters that had happened in our area. So Dad's shop made it into this book.
Yeah.
And we were all really proud of him. Can you tell us briefly about the history of the shop then? Did you know about it when you went in for the lease?
Oh, not at all. No,
Right.
no, I didn't know anything about it. It was an estate agent before I took it over. With my landlord, he worked upstairs in an office. So when the estate agents left, the landlord stayed on his own and just carried on working there because he was a churchman, but he did little bits of things for the church upstairs. So he's working from there. And he's such a nice chap. He's very fair with me. But yeah, so one day, it was I think the 18th century.
Yeah, it was.
The 18th century, yeah. And it was occupied by the Irish, and they had like a whorehouse. It became a whorehouse. Oh, bloody hell. It's typical of me finding a shop like that. That's all I needed. And then it became really a nasty place because they had the babies. They had
Prostitutes, wasn't it?
prostitutes. They had babies, and unfortunately, they buried some of the babies apparently in the cellar. In the well area, there's a well down there that runs along the Eaton Chapel area. There is actually a well that runs along, and it's supposed to be in my shop. They're buried underneath there. So that story came out, and I thought, oh my God. So the reporter came down one day from the BBC, I think it was, yeah. And he said, oh, I believe this place is haunted. He said, we'd like to do a little article on it. So I said, oh, great. That would be great.
Bit of exposure for you as well.
Yeah, it'd be great exposure. Anyway, I said, I'll have to confirm it with my landlord first because he's very, he doesn't know anything, unless he does know something about it, he's not told me. Anyway, I approached him. Oh, he said, no way. No way you're doing anything like that. So I said, why not? He said, I don't want anyone doing that, like talking about it or anything like that. So, okay, fair enough. So I left it on that. And then the word got around, and I had these ghost busters coming. Like this girl coming, she said, "Oh, I can sense ghosts. Can I go down in your cellar?" So I said, "Well, yeah, if you want to go down." She said, "I'll tell you." She said, "If there's one there." So I didn't follow her. I said, "Well, you go down your own, just in case."
I'll be right here waiting for you, love.
Yeah,
Top of the stairs.
a bit warmer up here.
Oh, it's freezing, wasn't it, down there?
Yeah, it's freezing down there and damp,
Yeah.
wet, damp, full of spiders. Anyway, she goes down. She's down for about 15 minutes, something like that. And she come back up. She said, well, I can tell by the brickwork it's definitely the 18th century building. But I can't sense any sort of ghostly goings on. She said, I've normally sense it. So, well, she left it at that. And then that was that. So one day, this chap come into my shop with a dog. And he said to me, I've heard about you got a ghost. I said, well, somebody said they've seen something, apparitions upstairs, shadows. Yeah.
Yes.
Because after the landlord went, we had workers take over the landlord's, the croppedists and builders. And the cropperty said she definitely saw someone going past a shadow going past her desk, and she come down white as a ghost, and she given notice and buggered off. She left. She left the work in district. She'd had enough. So anyway, this guy come and he says, well, I can tell you if it is a ghost because my dog I've got here is a ratter. He said it's a Jack Russell and it'll sense something. So I said, well, you help yourself.
Off you go.
So off you go. Next one down. So he goes down with his dog. Now I followed him actually on this one. I was right behind him. So the dog gets to the bottom of the cellar and it stops, just goes rigid. And all the hairs on the back of its neck came up. Oh, got a right cold feeling. And his owner said, I've never seen him do that before. Then he started to spin in a circle,
Oh yeah.
like chasing his tail, round and round and round, like that. So the owner said, "Oh my God, he's sensing something here." He didn't bark. No, I never heard him barking, but he was going mad. So anyway, brought him back up. And then he thought, well, it might be one off this, so we'll take him down again. Took him down again. He went down dead quick. Same again.
Really?
Yeah, he said the hairs didn't come up, but he just started spinning round and round and round. He said, well, I'm just saying he's sensing something, so I'll leave that with you. So that got me a bit suspicious, really. So,
and even after that, things happened, though. I remember the person that worked for you at the time, he said, I think it was him, or it might have been that lady.
John, I think it was John.
So
the banister was shaking, yeah.
Yeah, the banister was shaking.
Shaking upstairs, yeah.
And whenever I went in the back to make you a brew or wash up or whatever, I was terrified. Like, I just went in and got out as quick as possible because it was always cold back there anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but
very cold.
Every time I walked past that cellar door, I was terrified. And there's a couple of times that me and Emma, I think, both went down with the person that was working for you.
Yeah.
And he shut the door and decided to lock us down there. It was awful. It's absolutely awful. But if you get the book that you're in, the Supernatural Stockbook, there's an image of the supposed ghost in there, isn't there?
Yeah, going down the steps.
Yeah, with a lantern.
With a lantern.
It's got like a black hood on. His face is awful. I still remember it now.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, that's just
who knows?
Mad.
Who knows?
But the ghost never bothered you.
Never.
And I think I've got my own theory about this. I think it's because it was a barber shop. Because apparently the ghost didn't like women. Because he killed prostitutes.
Yeah.
And I think that the lady upstairs, who's the chiropodist, bothered her because she was a lady. But you were there how many years? Like
me?
30,
I was there from 89 to 2017.
Yeah, so it's a long time, and you didn't really have any problems.
No.
But I don't know if you remember one night we were all in there. I don't know if we were decorating or something. I remember there being paintbrushes and paintings, and the kitchen tap turned itself on.
It did, yeah.
It was at night time.
Yeah.
And then one of the tools that we had flung across the room. And Uncle Kevin, I think, was there as well. He might be listening to this that night. And I always remember it. It was a really spooky place. But, obviously...
But it didn't frighten me. Never frightened. No, never.
And you've been there a lot on your own, mornings and nights.
And I thought, well, I'll test this ghost out. I'll leave my till open one night. I'll leave a few quid in it. So I opened my till up, left about, 15 quid in the float. I come back in the morning, wasn't touched. He didn't even take a penny out to go for the drink or anything like that. So he was a friendly ghost.
He wasn't going to screw you over then,
was
he?
No.
It just leads me perfectly on to the next thing that I want to tell people about. So funny. So when you've got your own business, obviously, it can be hard sometimes getting paid.
Oh, hi.
And you have to be quite forthcoming. Now, obviously, your service was sort of, you pay as you go. You get your haircut, you pay.
Pay as you go.
You're supposed to.
Cash.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Anyone listening, cash.
Dealing cash. For me, I have payment up front, but it didn't work like that for you. So you would often cut people's hair, and then they didn't pay afterwards, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
So your dad had this book, this little brown book, right? And I just want to tell everybody about this brown book because it makes me and Emma laugh so much. And trust me, you did not want to get your name in this book, right? Because it was Dad's debt collecting book. And everyone who owed him money was in this book. Yeah, well, me and Emma, one day we were looking through it, right? And it was a few years ago. We were looking through it, we found it. And we saw these list of names, and we said to Dad, oh, there's a few here, the name's crossed out. Does that mean that they've paid up? They don't owe you any money anymore? And he goes, nope, them ones are dead. Never getting that money back. And there's quite a few on there that you never saw the money for. But how rude. How, people had the haircut and then they didn't pay you.
It's like premeditation that they planned it to come in, have the haircut and go, no money on me. Can I drop it in later? And I must admit, out of about whatever I've got in that book, hundreds, only one came back and paid me.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So.
And there was no card machines then? You didn't have a card machine?
No card machines, nothing like that.
Cash or nothing, wasn't
it? Yeah.
No bank transfers really then either?
No, cash only, no.
No online banking, so I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what people can do. Maybe it's thinking, he works for himself, he's got too much. It doesn't work like that.
No.
You never got too much because they don't see this side where you pay out and all your bills and stuff.
Yeah.
It just keeps me going on the level what I was taking on a week. Yeah, might have been 100 quid here or there over that me and Mum had, but not a lot. Not to beginning. To build it up.
How long did it take you? Years? Because I remember we didn't really have a big family holiday until I was about maybe 9 or 10.
9 or 10. I think it took me about a good 3 years to get the target that I was aiming for.
Yeah.
And,
I think as long as you see something slowly grow in the right
it's growing
direction.
all the time. Yeah.
And in those days, you didn't have social media to help promote you. It was literally word of mouth, and that's what you relied on. And I think now that is something that is so important. A lot of people disregard it because they think, oh, I've got social media at my fingertips. I can just advertise on Facebook or whatever. You can't beat word of mouth. You started and you maintained business just on that, didn't you?
And also being absolutely lovely to your customers.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only probably out of thousands of customers that did, about 4 or 5 that never would like to come back to the shop again.
Really?
That I told them, I don't want you to come back to my shop. I actually kicked them out in the end because they were rude and they were not nice. Other than that, it's so friendly shop, and then they go away smiling, laughing and joking. We had so much of a rapport with them all.
And that's why they came back.
And that's why they came back all the time.
And we're talking generations used to come back. So you cut someone's hair and their sons and then their sons.
They'll tell their granddad, I think the oldest ones was doing in the 90s when they was coming in, walking in farting and going out farting. But they're old buggers. But I mean, at the end of the day, they got their hair cut and they paid me the money. I was happy about that.
You definitely had some characters in that
smelly
shop.
ones and
someone with knit. You had quite a few with knits, didn't you?
Oh, I had a lot of jumpers. Yeah, there was a lot of jumpers on my chair, and I just say to the mums, "Excuse me, can I have a word with you, please?" And I call them over and I say, instead of saying he's got knits, it might be people listening. I'd say he's got a head infestation.
Good one.
That's a good word, isn't it? Yeah. Head infestation.
Yeah.
He puts it, I mean, that.
Tactful,
yeah.
Not like you at all.
No, not really. Probably say, get him off the chair. He's got the jumpers. Darby Runner's jumpers in his head. Anyway, so she said, no, he hasn't. I said, he has, lovely, actually. Can you just see? Look. So if you ever had it with your children, normally on the crown, back of their ears, and they can jump. They're jumping on my gown, and my gown are black, so you can see them.
Oh.
And they're racing against each other. So,
knits do jump, I'm telling you, because Eden had them 2 weeks ago, and one of them jumped out of her head onto the coffee table. Yeah. I was horrified. And I always call Dad first whenever there's any kind of medical emergency in our house, because he's very good at stuff like that. Yeah. Knits included.
Knits included, yeah. So from then on, just a blow lamp ready in case anybody else had one next time.
So now you still got customers coming back to you. Oh, God.
Yeah, you don't put lotion on, get a blow lamp on it.
That's what you need. So, Dad retired in 2017.
17, yeah.
When my mum got ill, as a lot of you know, and he decided it was time. So we sold the shop, and it was so emotional. It was the end of an era.
Yeah, it was.
And we actually surprised you, didn't we, that day? We turned up at the shop.
Absolutely brilliant.
And we came with a cake. And we just, we thought he was just going to shut the shop doors and then leave. But that wasn't the case at all, and we planned a little party for him. And there's some of my favourite pictures that we took that night of us all together.
Brilliant day.
It was a really good day.
So lovely.
We had pictures on the chair, and it was a really emotional time for us.
It was, yeah.
But how did it actually feel for you? Because I know it was a sad situation anyway, the fact that it was under those circumstances, and it wasn't what retirement was supposed to be for you and what we'd planned. And obviously your mum had these holidays planned that you were hoping to do during retirement.
Yeah, we had a lot planned.
But, there's a photograph that we took of you outside the shop with your briefcase.
Yeah.
As if you were chucking it away. Do you remember? But how did it actually feel? I know we joked about it, but was it weird? Was it like, it must have felt quite lost?
Yeah, do you know, it's weird, because I think it might have been all a blur, because the way it happened and the way I did say goodbye to the shop, it was one of them things where, it's really happening, this, I'm really going. And my career now is finishing. And I wanted to, because I wanted to look after Mum. And I'd like to finish in different circumstances, obviously. But I don't think I had any regrets at all leaving the shop. None at all. Because I knew where my priorities were with the person I love so much. And I just wanted to sell it and then move on to look after Mum.
And I think after that as well, once Mum passed away, COVID hit, didn't it? And we were talking about how we didn't think the shop would have survived anyway, post-COVID.
It definitely would have not survived, yeah.
It was the right time.
Yeah. I think things happen for a reason, without a doubt. And that particular time did happen for a reason for me.
I think so too.
Yeah, it really did. In fact, I offered it, the lad who worked with me, I offered it him to buy, and he didn't come up with the money. So in the end, I had to sell it for absolute peanuts.
Yeah.
On paper, it was worth 4 times as much as I got for it.
Mm-hmm.
But in a job like mine, where you're getting cash money,
It's hard to prove the
it's
value.
hard to prove the value of it.
Is there any advice that you would give as someone who has done it for such a long time?
Don't be frightened of the public, that's for sure, because once you get them on board with you, they're absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
So true.
And they have so much confidence with you.
Yeah.
And they trust you. They will trust you because you just show your genuine side of you. You just be yourself.
Yeah.
I think, definitely.
You are the business, aren't you?
You are the business. Without you there, it wouldn't have been Tony's Barbershop.
Your business reputation was what you couldn't really put price on.
No.
Because you came with the business. You were what made it a success.
And, people say, where do you get a haircut? They say, Tony's. So your name is constantly, I go to Tony's Barbershop.
Yeah.
And that's, it's, you feel proud that you're making people so happy and talking about it. Because I could go nowhere in Manchester without people knowing me.
Anyway, mad, didn't it?
It just to drive more mad.
Try to get shopping done on a Wednesday.
Yeah, you just get stopped all the time.
Yeah. There he is, Tony. And me and Emma on nights out, bloody hell. How many men we met that were like...
Doorman, they were barman, doorman.
So funny.
They used to get you in places, restaurants, you sit in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh, you Tony the Barber?
Yeah. We used to have dates with men, honestly, and we'd be on a date and then they'd say something about, I got my haircut last week. I'd go, oh, my dad's a barber. And they'll go, oh, is he? I said, yeah, in Heaton Chapel. Oh, that's where I get my haircut. It's Tony, isn't it? And we go, yeah. Bloody hell, this girl's dad's Tony the Barber. It's so funny. And there's so many people we met that used to tell us that.
You had a fantastic shop. You really
did.
Yeah.
You're so proud. It's such a legacy that you left behind with it as well.
Yeah. I really miss the actual camaraderie with people.
Yeah.
I don't miss being in the shop now and having a responsibility of everything. No. But, like I said, I'm still doing a little bit of cutting now here and there, private cuts, but keep me going, keep my fingers from getting arthritis. But I'm all right.
Helps, doesn't it? Still got it.
I still got it. That bloody bracker.
Yeah, we'll come on to that in a minute. I just wanted to ask you, right? So I've never asked you this question.
No.
Obviously, you worked so hard, and you did it because you had a family to support. Mum didn't work; she brought up me and Emma, and you worked 7 till 8. Like you say,
60 hours a week.
60 hours a week, exactly.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like you were missing out on your children being young? Like, how did you feel coming in? Were we always in bed? I never got to ask you.
Yeah. I think I did in a way. I think when I came home, I think the only time really I spent with you, Wednesday's my day off. I used to love doing things with both of you then. And certain weekends we did everything as we can together. But yeah, I felt it was a lot on Mum, and she was very, very capable of doing it because she loved kids. But it was a lot for a woman, or to do all on her own. But by the time I finished work, my tea was on the table always from Mum, always on the hot dinners, always on the table.
Yeah.
And then I came in, had my dinner. You'd been bathed and everything.
Were we in bed by the time you got back?
Yeah, you were in bed.
Were we asleep?
Always in bed, yeah.
Were we?
Always asleep, to go and give you a kiss. So I didn't have a lot of time bathing you and doing all that. Well,
it's nice because you get to revisit that with your grandchildren, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is why you can see that they take to you so well, because you've got that interest to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe you did feel a little bit like, you missed out. But yeah, I mean, we and Emma always remember a Sunday being a family day, and it was always, we did everything together.
But whatever I could do with you, I didn't want to miss out on, because I wanted to do it.
I know, you did. And, I was going to talk briefly about when the shit hit the fan officially in our family. I would probably say it was 2010, my episode in America, which I have talked about again on the podcast before. If you've not listened to the first episode that I recorded, and you want to know what happened, I would go and listen to that. But basically, I started Vintage Tree, my stationery business, out of, the result of a bad relationship, a really destructive relationship from a man that I met on a plane in America. So the lesson is, don't marry a man that you meet on planes. But I was having an especially hard time, and it was all up in the air. I didn't know what was going on, but I started Vintage Tree as a way to get out of this relationship. So I had something for me that I could build up and focus on and become self-sufficient, because at the time, the person that I was with didn't want me to do anything on my own, was very controlling. So I knew in the back of my head that wasn't right, but I wasn't quite strong enough to stand up to him and to, be the person that I am now. Obviously, if we tried it on now, it would be a completely different story, dealing with 41-year-old Joanne rather than 27-year-old Joanne. But yeah, Vintage Tree was born out of that. So as much as it was a bad situation, it came up with good results for me. But I remember specifically, and it'll be a memory that sticks in my head forever in regards to me and you, was when I finally made the decision that I wasn't going to go back to America and be with him. I don't know if you remember, but all my stuff was packed. I had a van that was taking all my stuff internationally. It was all loaded up, all boxed up, wasn't it? And I was leaving the next day. And I remember sitting on your knee at the age of 27 and bursting into tears and saying to you that I couldn't go. And I don't know, for some reason, I just felt like I couldn't tell Mum. As much as we had an open relationship and we talked a lot. But it was you, and I sat on your knee and I said, I can't do it, Dad. And I remember you saying, right, okay, we'll sort it out. And I never went back after that, did I? That was the last time.
That's the last time, yeah. Yeah.
It was difficult because during that time you also got kidney cancer.
Yeah.
So we're going through all that as well.
Yeah, it's very, very hard.
You know, it's been probably 14 years of utter shit, really. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's been very, very difficult. Yes, there's been happy times in between, and there's been weddings, and there's been children born, which is lovely. But it has been dominated, I think, by sadness, especially when we lost Mum in 2017. So she was like the biggest cheerleader, wasn't she, of Vintage Tree?
Oh, God.
And everything that me and Emma did, she absolutely adored. You know, we were everything to her. And it was something that I found very difficult, keeping the business going when she passed away. But you did step in and help me on a Tuesday like she used to do. If you remember.
I love doing that. Yeah.
Got a few orders mixed up. Stuck a few labels on the wrong boxes. I remember that. Well, bloody hell. Oh, God, that's going to Sheila. That's going to Margaret. Swap them over. Oh, God, I've not put that invoice in. So that didn't last long, that period of employment for Vintage Tree. But I was very grateful to have you around at that time. It was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was trying to copy Mum, but it was impossible.
Wow. Yeah, but you've been...
Some shoes to fill that was.
It was, but you've been helpful in so many other ways. Like you used to cut all my bubble wrap up for me, didn't you? And build the boxes. Or you did loads of little things for my business, and it helped massively, and it still does. But yeah, that was particularly a shit time when Mum passed away, and we were trying to deal with that transition without her around.
Yeah.
And then we found out we got the BRCA2 gene discovery, you know?
Lovely.
That lovely gift that just keeps on giving. You know? So in 2019, both me and Emma were pregnant at the same time.
Yeah.
Emma with her little one and me with mine. And, you know, I know that we all got tested genetically because of Mum's history with breast cancer and it throughout the whole family. And Dad also lost his sister to ovarian cancer. So Mum asked me and my sister to promise her that we would get genetically tested. So we did. And we found out that we have a mutation in this BRCA2 gene, which causes us basically to be at very high risk of getting breast and ovarian cancer. Anyway, we assumed that it came from Mum's side until Dad got tested. And we discovered that it came from Dad's side, which explained a lot, really, because a few people on your side had passed away from similar conditions.
Brother,
So it came from Dad's side, and because Dad's got a Jewish heritage, and it was a gene that was prevalent.
Ashkenazi Jews, yeah.
So 1% of the Jewish population inherited it,
and I got it.
And
no chance of winning the lottery either ever. No, 1%, and we got it out of 6 million or 7 million of us. I bloody got it. Unbelievable.
And you know, I know we laugh about it, but I know you've struggled with this and feeling guilty.
I feel very guilty
about it, but you know, there's no denying it. Yeah, we've got some shit genes going on, right?
Yeah.
But never at any point have me and Emma ever blamed you for that. That's just the way it is. At the end of the day, there's 50% chance we've passed it on to our children as well. So it's just who we are as people. It's just what makes us up.
As a parent, it's hard to see your children go through that. You know, I'd rather take a hit myself again. But to see your children go through that, you do feel a little bit, is it my fault? I know you've been telling me it's not. And,
it's not. It's who we are.
It's not. You wouldn't have been able to know if I didn't know about me. No. So, in a way,
it saved our life.
It saved your life, I think.
And it saved your grandchildren's lives and their children's lives. Because now we can put a stop to it because we know about it. We never knew about it. It's just our genetic makeup and who we are.
What happens when you get your sinus attacks? I mean, you're going to inherit that as well because I've got a lot of that. You're going to get that. You're going to get, what else have you got? I've got osteoporosis. You're going to get that.
Oh, yeah. It's all fun and games.
But luckily, the brain side of our family, the Alzheimer's, doesn't exist.
So what brains in general? We don't have a brain.
We do very well. I mean, I do Rubik's Cube now, and I'm 72 nearly.
I know, Emma taught you that.
I'm down to 3 minutes. 3 minutes and 10 seconds now. I can do it. You try it, everyone. Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's Cube.
You try the algorithms on that. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, my sister had the patience to teach
I've learnt it.
It's done very, very well. I mean, I'm the only one now in the family that can't do it. I don't have that kind of brain, I don't think, to sort it out. You're very determined. You like to stick at stuff.
Yeah, very determined.
Don't need to get it.
As I was with my business, the same way.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got to do it. I have to do it.
So just to bring everything together now, I mean, it's been fun. I knew it would be. We've had a bit of a laugh. I've had a little bit of a cry.
There's loads more, but you can never get it in.
So much more. Maybe we'll do a part 2 if anybody wants to listen to
everyone's happy about this one, yeah.
Could have a regular spot on the Her Handmade Hustle
podcast. I can go on for years.
I've really enjoyed this, to be honest. It's been lovely. What is it that you're most grateful for this Christmas, and what are your hopes as a dad and a granddad and everything for the future?
As when I lost Mum, the grandkids, I've got 4 fantastic grandchildren. Crazies, but I love them to death. They keep me going. They really do. They make my life so happy, and I channel all my love into the grandkids with Susan's love as well. And I think they feel that a lot when I'm with them, because I hug them so much and kiss them, and they feel it, and they just give it me back. And that's come from me and Grandma, and that's something that she saw 2 of them and didn't see the other 2, but she's with them all the time, and I just love getting to see them. I've got 2 fantastic girls, you know.
So that's what I was going to ask you. What are any proud moments of with us? Because obviously Emma's an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur.
Proud moments is just seeing like Emma being the eldest, going on to doing what she's done. She became I was very proud when she worked for the airline business. She's very thoughtful as a businesswoman as well. She's got a head on. She's got a head on her shoulders for anything like that, and she's chosen right. She's got a lovely partner, got a lovely house, and she's enjoying life, especially after her diagnosis. And she wants to go on the holiday. I really admire her for that. I'm just so proud. And then you know, I mean, we have. That's it with you. Yeah, that's it. That's all I can say. No.
Well, apparently I send you to sleep on my podcast, so you're going to be sending yourself to sleep now because you'll be listening to yourself.
I'll be listening to this, having some snooze, yeah. No, but I'm so proud of you as well. I mean, you've gone through a lot of SH1T as well, and you've come through it. You're more sensitive than Emma. I mean, Emma's tough old boots in a way, but as you've gone older, I've realised now, and you realise yourself, that you've hardened up, and I think you have, and I'm glad that it's nice to see that you won't let anybody shit on you, which is really good. And then this is how you survived in your business as well. And anybody that's got a business, don't let them shit on you. Be
the pigeon, not the statue.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good one. Keep on the move. Keep on the move. Don't stand still. And also, if you feel though you've got a say 50% chance of taking the risk, take the risk. If you've got any more doubts, 70, 80, 90%, you're not happy, well, don't do it. But even if you're 50%, don't be frightened, don't be put off with it. Go for it.
I agree.
Absolutely go for it.
You give me that confidence all the time.
You know, and you've shown so much, and I'm so proud of you. And I love seeing what you've got, and you know, it's really good. I mean, I wish you had more money, but what can you do about that?
Well, I was just going to say, any other advice to listeners? Yeah, book me. Book my daughter to go and mentor you with your small creative business.
She is the one to go for. She knows everything. She absolutely does. She's very good.
Been doing it a long time.
She'll guide you right. She'll give you confidence, and she'll just help you. So just go with it, babes. Get your money out.
Thanks, Dad. That's a great selling pitch. But yes, you know, for anyone that is interested and would like to work with me without the crazy father on the side, you can visit the website, handmadehustle.co.uk. All my services are on there. Unfortunately, I don't do rent-a-father, so you can't hire him out.
Bank account number, one off, sort code, send your money over.
Thanks, this is doing great for my reputation. But anything I can help you with, I'm your lady. You know, if you are a creative woman in business, go and check out what I can do for you. I can help you get your business off the ground. Well,
you certainly can.
Thanks, Dad, for joining me today.
It's been so good.
I feel like I need another stiff drink now.
We're going to have another Baileys.
We've got a chance. We've got time before we pick Eden up, haven't we? We've got an hour.
Oh, why?
Yes, we can squeeze another one in.
Get another one in, and then I wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. and a very fruitful and prosperous new year. And go for it if you're in business. Believe me, it's worth it.
Oh, thanks, Sarah. What a lovely way to finish. And I just want to say thanks for giving me time today, because not like you're doing anything else. So
Nothing else? Made a nice stew for tonight.
you have. I
We're
look
going to have a
forward to
lovely
that.
stew tonight. Lovely.
Can't wait.
Again.
Can't wait. Oh, it's Christmas now. Everything's on the downhill slope. Let's be honest.
Love you all.
All right. Thanks, Dad. Bye.
Bye.
So that was the interview with my dad. I mean, it went a lot better than I thought it was going to go. We had some really interesting conversations. I hope you enjoyed it too. He does have a lot of experience and a lot of tales to tell, which we didn't even get to half of them. But maybe you never know. I might record another episode with him. He has lots and lots of funny stories, and hopefully it entertained you. That's all. That's all for 2024. I can't believe it. We're wrapping up the year now. I won't be back now until the new year with another episode. All it leaves me to do is wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving up your time every single week to listen to the podcast. I really hope that it gives you something and you leave every week with more knowledge, or a bit of a spring in your step after listening to me. If you do want to check out my services, you can visit my website, www.herhandmadehustle.co.uk. I'll put the link in the show notes so you can click on it and just see if there's any way that I can help you in the new year. 2025, I've got a good feeling about it. It's going to be a good year, and I think for small businesses particularly, there is loads of potential. If the time is now to start a handmade business, and I'm actually going to do an episode, probably the first one back after the new year, talking about why the time is now to start a handmade business. So if you have got any thoughts whatsoever, you're thinking about doing it, or maybe you've started and you're not sure where you want to take it, then get in touch, drop me a message, we can have a chat. Absolutely no pressure from my end whatsoever. I just love meeting all these fabulous ladies that are starting businesses. It's brilliant. So I'm here if you need me. Thanks once again for listening. I hope you've enjoyed it. And again, Happy New Year to everybody. And here's to a prosperous 2025. I'll see you on the other side.